A call by the security agency for the protesters to shelve the protests on the grounds of the incidences playing out in some states. By the true report, this is confirmed recently by the army on their recent press statement, who, according to them, if the protests get out of hand, they're on standby to arrest the situation, and commending the fact that in some states the protesters are peaceful in demonstration, but in some quarters of the state we've seen looting and some incidences of death occurring due to the confrontation by both the protesters and the security agencies. All of these are the current situation and assessment of the ongoing Day 2 demonstration of the hunger protest, the End Bad Governance protest, which started yesterday. And of course, I have two gentlemen who are along on the program to give us an understanding about the situation. We've witnessed very funny situation in some state. We've also witnessed very dramatic scenario in some state, even in the Federal Capital Territory. I was down the field. I understand what the people were saying. I understand the reactions about the security agencies, the anti-protesters, and the peaceful protesters. We'll be establishing all of this and also looking at the fact that if government is also responding to the demand of the protesters on the program tonight. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining us. I have Omar Farouk, of course, is live on the program, and Kingdom, okay, who's a convener of lawyer in the defense of democracy. Thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anchor. Good evening, Nigerians.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, let me begin with the convener. There were a court order as of yesterday, or day before yesterday, that FCT protesters should only make use of the Marshal Biala Stadium. And then we were there yesterday, but something played out. What started as the peaceful demonstration met a lot of resistance at the Federal Secretariat. Can you give us an understanding about that incident?
I repeated today again. Funny enough, it repeated today again, and it was deliberately masterminded by the Nigerian police. Well, let me begin by saying that it is regrettable that Nigeria, at this point in time, we have a president who himself did not just participate in protests actively, did not only come out to address protesters several times as a participant, but also sponsored several protests, several pro-democratic and anti-democratic protests. And so unfortunate, we thought the president, the sitting president, the incumbent president, we thought he was a pure Democrat. But what is playing now shows that maybe he has been deceiving some of us who are in the civil society, who are human rights activists, that he is a Democrat, because he has shown severe anti-democratic tendencies the way he handled this protest, and it is regrettable. Well, there was a court order as was served on us electronically, that is via the WhatsApp telephone of the Commissioner of Police of the FCT, which I saw the court order, he read it out. And the court order it's an ex parte application, and from a court of competent jurisdiction, that is FCT High Court. Every High Court is of competent jurisdiction, and the court order restrained the protest activities in the FCT to the MK Abiola Stadium. And when we read the order, we asked him to give us some time so that we can enlighten the larger protesters. It's not only, of course, we have several unenlightened, uneducated, hungry Nigerians who came out to protest the hunger in the land, who came out to protest the senseless lifestyle of the politicians. And we requested that he give us up to 3 hours to educate some who would tag not too educated protesters. And while we were doing that, we were equally addressing the press vis-a-vis, as I did yesterday, at the same MKO Abiola Stadium, where the court have asked us to restrict our activities. And we were at that entrance gate addressing the press, chanting our solidarity song and pro-democratic song. And before we realized, maybe with 2 hours within the entire situation playing out, we saw a convoy of about 12 coastal buses, fully loaded with dogs who were brandishing several weapons, and these same thugs were escorted by the men of the Nigerian police and the military, and they escorted them to the venue. And they packed one side of the MKO Stadium to unleash mayhem on peaceful protesters. So the question now is, if this government had gone to court to obtain an order expertise to restrict our activity at the NKO Abiola Stadium, why still import talks to?
We can't substantiate if government were the ones who hired the buses. We do not have that record, so we cannot confirm that now.
NBC is watching.
Barrister, yes.
But I'm telling you that we were at the protest ground.
Barrister, I was there with you.
When the talks arrived, they were escorted by the police and the military, and they were there for the purpose of unleashing mayhem on innocent, peaceful protesters. And that was what motivated the protesters. Okay, if you have obtained the court order to say we should confine our activities at the NKO Abiola Stadium, and we are doing that, that was not enough for you. That we are very.
Yes, I'm going to come back to you.
You now import talks to meet us at that same stadium.
I'm coming back to you.
That was the reason why the protesters decided not to gradually and peacefully proceed to the Eagle Square, where they now met severe
Thank you.
terror.
Thank you. I understand you are a legal practitioner and you understand some of these implications of utterances. So I want us to be properly guided. Thanks so much. Omara, there are incidences that government sponsored the protests. I mean, some of the anti-protesters. And there were questions that we asked. Why choose the same venue where we had the peaceful protesters? Why choose the same time? Isn't that insensitive enough from this part? What is your comment about that incident?
It's not talks that is guided by the federal government. As you have right to protest, others have right to protest. If you mobilize 300, 500 people to protest against the government, people can come out at their own leisure time to say we too want to protest because this is the government of Nigeria. Everybody, where your own right stop, that is where another man's right starts. You cannot say it's federal government or men of Nigerian police or soldiers.
It looks because we've also
if soldiers are there and police are there, they are there to protect the both parties and to make sure everybody has a peaceful demonstration. For God's sake, it's not all Nigerian people that come out. We have over 200 people. 200,000 people in Nigeria. Is it all of them that come out? Let me ask you, what are they agitating? Bad government? Is it the cabals that have been there so far since 1999, collecting oil subsidy, enjoying themselves? Only few of them. Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu came and he said he has removed subsidy. So are they the problem of the country? Now, recently, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu said the NNPC should be selling crude oil to Dangote in Naira so that the dollar will stop floating, so that our Naira will have value. Is it what we call bad government? Somebody that has courage. Since 1999, when we have democracy in this country, Barrister, you are here. We have been struggling for local government autonomy. Somebody that gives local government autonomy expressly. He met minimum wage at the rate of 30,000 naira and he increased it to 70,000 naira. Is it a bad government? He gives student loan. When last did Nigeria experience what they call student loan? When can you go and get loan and go to school? Since 1999, do we have such plan for our teeming youth, for our Nigerian youth? The answer is no. This president came with this initiative and he has already poured money there and people have started getting loan to go to school. Is it the bad government that people are shouting that he has already approved so many infrastructure development in the country?
What
are we saying?
Are you aware that people are hungry?
Yes. If people are hungry, that is not the way to protest. Protest must not be violent. You cannot release 20, 15 years, 16 years children in Kano and Kaduna to be looting, to be holding other people to ransom, breaking shops, removing some items that government has fixed. Is it protest that Nigeria will be proud of?
By
vandalizing some of our properties that is our own money?
I'll come back to you.
Look at what happened in instance in Lagos. The BRT buses were burned down. Is it development? I give it to the Igbo people. They refuse to join because they know they have properties all over Nigeria. When you go to Kano, you see the majority part sellers are Igbo people. If the people enter there and loot their properties, who will pay? Is it the government?
All right, I'm going to get back to you. Barrister, they are concerned that this is already turning violence. You had signed for peaceful demonstration. What is your concern about the violence nature of this protest?
From the first day of the protest, and from my initial statement at the first headquarters, I am an advocate of constitutionality and exponent of human rights. And like my colleague in the studio said, we have all got rights. The issue of fundamental rights, also have what we call some restrictions, So where your right begins is where my right stops, and where you are, vice versa, So I have always made it clear that I'm an advocate of peaceful protest. If you want to protest, protest is about expressing your misgivings about mismanagement of our common resources, about corruption, about bad governance, about the government not placing priority on the things that are germane, the things that are necessary, that will touch on the life of the people. You express freedom of speech. You assemble, you gather, you can display your placards, either visually or orally.
That's what it ought to be.
Your misgivings. Within the ambits of the law, I said it very clearly on national television. I said that we must separate protests from riots, from violent criminality, going about to loot people's property.
So what's the reaction? What's the reaction about what is happening? What is happening in Kano? What is happening in those areas?
It is pure criminality.
I don't know the protesters.
It must. That is what I'm telling
but
you.
But they are hiding under the protest of bad government.
Hold on.
Initial press statement, I said that I subscribe to peaceful protest. It's about expressing your grievances and making constructive criticisms, which should actually help the government in power to either make amendments or not to make amendments if they are listening government. So what is happening in Kano, we must separate peaceful protest from violent
because the reason I'm asking that was that was a fear of government. They were afraid. Yes, we have good intention. Some peaceful protesters to go about it. So they were afraid. Prior to this time, it's got to be hijacked. And then we were expecting that there will be other ways of managing these processes. Are you not afraid that if we continue with this, it might end worse than what we saw yesterday?
Like I said, that was the fear of the government. But now, from our own first-hand experience, what we saw at day one, and even today, some of those talks too also infiltrated into today's protest in the FCT. I don't know what happened in Kano. I don't know what happened in Lagos. This protest does not have a central coordination.
As a matter of fact, if you are saying Barrister,
I'm going to come to you. Let him land.
Automatically, it's a failed protest.
Let me land. Hold on.
There is no particular person you can say that this person is the central coordinator of this protest that speaks and directs everybody on what is happening. The protest that is not faceless. The protest as a social media awareness on the hunger in the land.
Right, and let's get to the issues.
Everybody or majority of Nigerians are hungry. People subscribe to it, and people decided to participate as various groups. So, like what I'm saying is that the issue of what is happening in Lagos now can be confined to the major actors and the influencers of the Lagos protest. I'm saying that I am not in Kano as to say what actually happened in Kano, except from what we have read and listened to in the news.
Right.
So we must separate peaceful protest from criminality. I have always said
all right.
if somebody abandons peaceful expression of your grievance and you go about vandalizing people's property, breaking windscreen of fellow innocent citizens of their cars, going to loot shops, that is criminality. It should be separated from the protest. Because if they are apprehended, they should be dealt with in accordance with
all right. Understood.
Violent protest.
Understood.
And I'll continue to say but I also don't subscribe to government unleashing mayhem on peaceful protesters or government trying to shut me up from speaking out against the evil of misgovernance, against the evil of corruption.
We are going into the issues. We are going into the issues now. Omar, the concern is about the fact that we are having 40.7% of Nigeria estimated to be, already in the poverty lane. People are saying that ever since President Tinubu came on board, lives have been lost. For them, they can't afford even two square meals in a day. The bag, a model of gari, a model of rice is not affordable by some families. We saw some of these actions. Not because really that is about Tinubu's administration. It's about the fact that the policy he is making life tougher for them. How do you begin to speak to a Nigerian who is taking this thing not lightly?
As a matter of fact, I want to salute your courage in this question. Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu government came amid a very bad economy, if you don't forget. And when you have an old car that doesn't have a battery, when you came to start it, you see there's no battery, you bought a Belgian car, no battery, no Indomie, no this, no that. You must be able to say, okay, let me try and Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to the country as a president. This is barely 1 year in office. Listen to me very well, my brother. As a matter of fact, you cannot judge and assess a president that did student loan in 1 year, local government autonomy in 1 year, giving license to Dangote refinery in less than 1 year, signing laws that are going to be impacting in Nigerians in 1 year, trying to see how he can bring foreign investors to Nigeria in 1 year, trying to fix all our economy in shape in 1 year, and you are saying this is bad government? We have never had it like this. What people are shouting, hunger, hunger, hunger. There are some evil people that don't want Nigeria to move forward. That is why they are shouting, there's hunger in the land. For God's sake, people are living their daily square meal a day. Some people, they have to go to market before they eat. But because of this protest, some of them are dying more in hunger. Because there's coffee in Kano. If you don't know, Barrister, this protest that people initiate, or you initiate, or your group initiate, or the people that they don't have face initiate because they don't have central place that are giving information. That if you are going out for protest, don't go and vandalize people's properties, don't go and break shops to pack some people's rice, don't go and break shops and carry some chairs, some people in Kano with chairs. More than how many people died? What are we going to tell our dear God?
All right.
The day of judgment.
Barrister.
We are killing. Did Islam or Christianity say we should go and kill?
All right, Umar. Is this protest sponsored? Because even the FCT minister said yesterday that a senator is being linked out to this protest. Does it look like this protest is sponsored?
It was also alleged. I think that the FCT minister said he saw the senator distributing pure water. I don't know, maybe the FCT minister came there as a ghost. I was there throughout the protest until the point when police unleashed their mayhem at the independent layout close to the office of the head of service, when the protesters were trying to veer left-hand side to access the Eagle Square, and the police turned the place like a war zone, as if to say that the Inspector General of Police and his commandants, the IGs, the DIGs, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, as if they don't know where Sambisa Forest is. They don't know where the bandits that are hiding in the forest that are preventing our farmers from farming. They don't know where they are, to turn that place to a war zone. They came to the office of the head of service along the Independent Avenue to unleash mayhem on peaceful, harmless, innocent protesters, pouring them tear gas as if they are dealing with common terrorists. That is shameful. That is condemnable. That is an act of terrorism. He said that is state-sponsored terrorism. Tinubu have shown that he is a lawless president and that he is ready to enthrone lawless. I'm just talking about the president because we voted for him. All these other Inspector General, Chief of Army Staff, they don't have our mandate. It's the president that appoints them. So, and the president is the commander-in-chief. So, if the president have instructed them to unleash mayhem on innocent and harmless protesters who voted him into power, supposedly, no matter how he got to power, like he said during the election, grab it, run with it, steal it. However, today he's sworn in as the president of Nigeria, so we'll continue to call him to take charge of his administration, to call his lieutenants to order. What happened there is condemnable. It's a show of shame. It's an act of state-sponsored terrorism. If they want to show us their muscle, if they want to flex security muscle, they want to show us their capacity, let them go and sanitize our forest where the bandits are preventing people from going to farm. That is one of the major problems, one of the major causes of food scarcity in Nigeria, not on innocent protesters that are on the street of Abuja protesting bad governance. So what happened will be condemned, not even on earth, but also in heaven. And we are calling on the president to not to stop chasing shadow. I don't see anybody like the major question was who is sponsoring the protest. Nobody. You were also there today. You can see that this protest is just a genuine protest, and all those people that are coming out of their conviction that they desire change in this country. So there's nobody sponsoring anything. What did you see there? People are buying pure water on their own. People are buying biscuits on their own. I even bought water for more than 10 people who came to approach me. Say, please, I'm thirsty. You buy them water. So what I'm telling you is that they shouldn't be chasing shadow, looking for sponsors of the protest. The sponsors of this protest is hunger, corruption, bad governance, hopelessness. You cannot graduate today in Nigeria and get job unless a senator gives you slot. There are even agencies of the federal government of Nigeria. Since I came to Abuja, they don't even know how they employ, how they take in their staff. Like the Central Bank of Nigeria, printing and minting. There are agencies that are reserved for people from a section of the country, people that are privileged, whose parents are PAMSEC, whose parents are directors, whose parents are senators. There are agencies of government that you don't even know how they take in their new employees.
All right, Barrister.
What they hope for a common a son of an ordinary Nigerian. I want people to feel safe, feel secure, and have sense of loyalty.
All right, Barrister. I'm coming back to you. You've answered my question. Umar, they are concerned that your party or your government is trying to push blame. Some are saying that People's Democratic Party or Labour Party or the last people that lost the last elections are the ones that are figuring this. But we've heard from the barrister here, he's saying Onga is the organizer of this protest, Hardship is the sponsor of this protest. How do you begin not to solve the main issues rather than chasing after the other party?
As a matter of fact,
why are you blaming the other people?
Was here shouting that the government is bad.
No, he's expressing, he's not chanting.
Listen to me. He's saying that the government is a bad government. Now, if what we cannot achieve since 1999, he came and made this corruption since 1999. This corruption has been existing long before now. Why are you crucifying the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Because he applied for the job.
In 1 year in office, man.
He applied for it.
Let me talk to you in a calm way. Just relax your mind. Let me tell you
we
what is
quarreling.
No, let me tell you what is Nigeria.
Go ahead. He has a time.
Somebody that has signed a local government autonomy in 1 year in office. Since 1999, for almost 26 years, 25 years, Nigeria has not gotten it right. Now, a local government chairman can employ so many people, and there will be juicy jobs there. There will be contract there.
Is this reflecting on the life of Nigerians?
Yes, it will. It will ask him. It's a barrister. I have personally. It will. No, you barrister. You are saying you are in Abuja. Listen to me, I'm barrister. You say you are in Abuja, struggling, doing this, and organizing protests in Abuja. Is the protest called only in Abuja or in the whole country, where people are looting in more than 19 other states? Is it because you are not there, or your properties are not there in Kano and Jigawa? Is it the properties of my people in the Kano and Jigawa and Sokoto tables of that they are looting? Is it my people that they are killing? With gunpoint, you call a protest that is going to bring down Nigeria? Is that a right thing for you? You are busy here.
The security agencies, Omar, the security agencies.
You will not accept that.
Omar, talk to me. Can you talk to me? Talk to me. The viewers are listening. Viewers are listening to this conversation. Viewers are listening to this conversation. I understand that the situation in Kano, the police and the security agencies have apprehended them. They have arrested some of them, and some of these properties have been recovered. And they are also moved to all of that.
Those are criminals.
So yeah, I agree. Nobody is supporting that. Now let me get to you. Away from the protest, some persons were even suggesting that in the time you have to present your demand. Has there been any forum where the presentation of the demands of these protesters has been presented to government?
Leadership. Like I told you, the government itself, they are not even very serious with the issue of. They said they want to engage the leaders of the protest, who are the leaders, come out, demands, all those issues. Like I said, there are several influencers of this protest. The influencers majorly hit the social media and raise the awareness. And because what the influencers of the protest we are saying is what everybody is feeling. So you didn't need to talk much before you could convince an average Nigerian that we need to come out and tell the government that we are not happy. We need to come out to tell the government that we are hungry. What the promoters of the protest did in social media was to say the obvious, that you and I are suffering, and they called out people to protest. So as I'm talking to you now, the government was saying want to dialogue, want to engage with the protesters. Since yesterday, the protest started. At least you cannot say that you have seen the leaders and influencers of the protest. They've come out and they have spoken all over the federation. In Abuja, we came out, we spoke. In Kano, there are people in the forefront who address the media. In Lagos, there are people who address the media. So if this is a sincere government that actually want to engage the promoters and influencers of the protest, since yesterday, they would have reached out to the people they have seen in the public space, in the media, who address this protest. These are the influencers, these are the promoters, these are the people that believed in expressing your grievances within the ambit of the law. Like I said, anytime, any day, I will always separate peaceful protest within my constitutional right to violent criminality. I've always said that. I said it 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday. In fact, I commenced my own protest from the first headquarters, and at that same venue, I addressed the place on live media coverage. That was on Arise TV, and from there, I proceeded to MK Abiola Stadium. And from there, we moved to the Eagle Square before the police unleashed mayhem on us with their tear gas. So what I'm saying is that the government themselves, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC-led government, all what they are saying is just the same APC rhetoric. The way they deceived the people to grab power in 2015, in 2019, and in 2023, that is still the same thing you hear them saying on the screen. Before yesterday, they could claim that they don't know the leaders of the or the influencers of the protest or the promoters of the before yesterday. But as at yesterday till today, you have seen them. They have addressed the various gatherings nationwide. So they actually want to engage
Thank you. Let me answer him.
They would have by now.
I'm coming to you.
So they are just being deceitful.
All right.
Rather, their agenda was what they have done to hire dogs to unleash mayhem and to
I've gotten your reaction.
They don't intend.
I've gotten your reaction. I've gotten your reaction.
They don't even intend to concede to any of the demands.
I've gotten your reaction. I've gotten your reaction.
Let me come in. As a matter of fact, let me ask you one or two questions. As a matter of fact, why did the protesters start their social their protest? They didn't come out and submit letter to DSS, Inspector General of Police, that we want to protest. Why are they hiding under the shade of social media, not coming out to say this is coalition of end bad government with a letterhead and write to the government and say we want to come and protest? Then the government will say no problem, approve, come and protest within the ambit of the law, as you say, as a lawyer.
That was done.
Wait.
That was done.
Wait.
I'm not holding back. That was done.
Secondly, you do that at the detriment of people's properties. You do that at the detriment of people's life. You do that at the detriment of ordinary Nigeria that has daily payment. Without him going out in the morning, he cannot eat in the evening. If they find out you release a mayhem in 19 other states, people are looting. Is that is that a peaceful protest?
I'm the one interviewing you. So talk to me directly.
Okay.
Talk to me directly. Now we don't want to dwell on the aftermath. We want to address the root causes of all of these. People won't just hit the street for protest. There's a common saying that an hungry man is an angry man. What is President Bola Tinubu doing to address hunger issue? Because the reality, you are on live studio talking to Nigerians who are listening to you, who probably don't know where the next meal is coming from. What is President Bola Tinubu doing? Because he said he has distributed bags of rice to some state, but some Nigerians saying they can't still have access to all of those things. Where is the missing line between what the president is doing?
I want to tell you that when Barrister is sick, he says something. He said he's addressing only the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Why the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has distributed rice? And he came on media and said that go back to your governors, ask your governors question, ask your reps question, ask your senators questions. You don't ask them. The only thing you are pointing into the presidency of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this same President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, early this year, he went and encouraged the governor of Niger State for putting so many hectares of lands and much equipment that can serve and feed the nation. The year is just in the middle. This is August, where rain is falling excessively, so that we can harvest the farm produce that the governors has planned. Only Niger State that has one of the largest landmass in Nigeria is now he has decided to say we want to feed the nation, and the president is encouraging the governor to see how we can get much agricultural equipment and send to Niger State, so that by next year we can not only feed Nigeria, we will feed other African countries. Because we have a very fertile land in Niger State. These are some of the measures, these are some of the things that the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria is doing that. But the people protesting are not saying that, they are not saying that.
Probably they are waiting for these things to start yielding result, the lives of the people. But let me get to Lagos. I've been joined by Aleo Abiodun, who is a journalist, of course, covering the protests in Lagos, respectively. Good to have you join us on the program. All right, if you can hear me, give me an understanding. It seems it's no more peaceful in some areas you've covered, but better still, give me an understanding of what really played out in Lagos, because we're live here in Abuja. We've also got reports coming in about, in your assessment, has this really had, as the protest really met the impact that it created for?
Yes, in Lagos here, the protest has been largely peaceful, and we have protesters who have gathered since yesterday at the Ojota area of Lagos, where they made their demonstrations, and it was peaceful, and it's like that in other parts of the southwest area of Nigeria. And so here in Lagos, people have made their grievances, and they've made what they want to push out to the general public known, and they've been peaceful in all their conduct. And also, we have the police force and the other security agencies ensuring that they're able to guard the protesters. Just today, we had the police force also giving protesters water and other side attractions to make sure that the atmosphere there is peaceful. And we also have people also going through their normal activities in terms of their business. And then I think,
all right, Alio. And now quickly, just on a quick
yes,
one. There were videos on social media escalating on social media. People were also in the street saying, we do not want protest. We are saying no to protest. If you want to protest, come out to our community. We'll face you. A sort of threat and intimidation to the protesters. The reason why I'm asking this is because Lagos was a flashpoint during the EndSARS of 2020 protest. So we were considering this may really played out not in alignment with what the intentions of the protest was about. But in your assessment, how do you judge that comment from some quarters, and has this affected the peaceful protest and ambience in Lagos?
yes. Well, some people made some reckless statements, which is what we have seen on social media, and the state government had frowned at it. And I think every right-thinking Lagosian or every right-thinking Nigerian will also frown at such, reckless statement. Saying that people should you're trying to suppress their voice. But what has played out in this protest so far is that we have had those who have put up a counter protest, to say no to protest because they are also believing in the administration of the day. And so it's just only normal that we have those who be in support of protest and also have those who be in against of protest. So those in support are those who have come out to the streets to say, yes, we support the protest. While those who are against are saying, no, we don't want violent protests. Looking at what has happened in the past, and Lagos being, one of the casualties of the NSAS protest, where we had so many destructions and, bonding and vandalizing of properties here in Lagos. So that is why some set of people came out to say, we don't want violent protests in Lagos. If it is peaceful, yes, they are for it. But if it's going violence, they want to make sure that they are not in support of any violent protest. So that's why we are seeing sort of two sides of protest here in Lagos, the counter and those in support of the protest. But in general assessment so far, the Lagos state government has made out statements to say, yes, we understand your grievances. We understand that there's hardship in the land. Everybody is also concerned. So let us come for a dialogue, because in the long run, if you are protesting, there should be a meeting point where you want to discuss issues and to see what is the way forward, in terms of all of these protests that have been pushed out in the past couple of days.
All right, Daniel, I'm going to get back to you. Omar, the incidences and concern that the president is not speaking, is not listening. We had met with traditional council, we had met with several groups. Why is it taking the president too long to address the people and talk to them?
As a matter of fact, you cannot say that the president is not listening or is not trying to listen to the cry of the people. As a matter of fact, when the social media agitation started, the president met with the traditional rulers. Why? Because he wanted to make peace. Because he has listened to the cry and to the yearning of people. That is why at the same time, the president has met with so many civil society groups. That is why he has reached out to people like National Association of Nigerian Students, the labor that the headquarters of even the protests did not join the protests because they have already reached out to their own demand. And he has listened to so many cries of Nigeria. That is why he implements so many things expressly. And now presently, you can see the president, if you say it's not a listening president, then automatically you are not being to the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As a true Democrat, he listened to the cry of the people. And the way they are crying, people are saying that they say we are the leaders of the protesters. The president is watching. And the president has his own time to do. He has not said anything, and he will soon say something. So people should give time that the president is working. We believe in Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu Renew Hope agenda, and by God's grace it will come to pass. Those cabals that don't want this country to stay as Nigeria, they want to pieces the country, God will not allow them to do that, because they are trying to outside
Nigeria. Thanks so much.
Because they are learning from what is happening in other African countries.
Thanks so much.
This is Nigeria.
Thanks so much.
We have the population of good people.
Thank you so much, Umaru Farouk, member of the All Progressive Congress, and thanks so much to convener lawyer in defense of democracy, Kingdom Okere, for joining us on the program. We just have to go on a break, and once we return, the conversation concludes on Big Talk. Thanks so much for staying with us.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on global television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okere tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point. This is business.
Are you ready to be entertained like never before? Ready to dive into the latest and greatest entertainment news in lifestyle, music, movies, birthday celebration, and so much more, all on Entertainment Circle on global television. From the hottest red carpet event to exclusive interviews with your favorite stars, we've got you covered. Stay up to date with the latest trends and news from the entertainment world, all in one place. Tune in every Saturday by 1 p.m. with Chung Annabelle Joseph on global television.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters.
Thanks everyone for staying with us on Big Talk. We are still assessing the impact of the day 2 demonstration of the hardship protests carried out by many Nigerians. Thanks so much, Aliyu, for still staying with us from Lagos. And of course, I have in the studio Aliyu Bilal, he's the public affairs analyst, joining us to round up the conversations right here. Aliyu, let me get your perspective again. It's about hunger, it's about bad governance, it's about some of those things that the protesters are outlining. Briefly, just in a brief, does this reflect that the people are after the Tinubu-led administration, or is it about the reality on ground?
Yes, I didn't get your question. What did you say?
the protest about bad governance, about hunger, is about the bad policies, about so many issues that you will understand what the demands of the protesters are. To your assessment, is it targeted at Tinubu's administration, or is it because of the reality on ground? We are trying to establish justifying this protest, please.
So, well, for now, the general consensus is that, there's so much biting hardship in the country. And everybody, even a layman, will agree. Even those at the ends of affairs also agree that, things are quite hard at this moment. And it's occasioned by the, policies that have been implemented at the early stage, in terms of the first subsidy removal. And they talk about hike in electricity tariff, hike in petroleum prices, and all of those things, hike in foodstuff items. So I think Nigerians averagely cannot afford all of these basic things, and that is why people are protesting. That is why people are keep coming out to the street, to the streets to let people know that this is why we are angry, and it is affecting everybody, regardless of whatever your status is, because we all go to the same filling station to buy this petroleum products. We also go to the same markets to buy these commodities. So there's nobody exempted from all of this hardship or this hunger that we are all going through. So it's just people coming out. No better way than to put all this emotion of protesting that they're not happy with the state of things. And that the government at the higher level have been saying, yes, we see through all of these things and we want to, see how we can make things better. We acknowledge that all of these issues are happening. One thing is to acknowledge, another thing is to put in measures, to stop all of these issues. So I think the government is just, looking at how to, address all of these demands and to make sure that there's a long-lasting solution. Although now, what policies we are having now, they are just temporary feedbacks we are getting, but people want a long-lasting solutions to what is on ground.
Thanks so much, Abiodun, the journalist with the Nation newspaper, joining us from Lagos, the capital, where the many scenarios were playing out. Thanks so much for your feedbacks and your analysis on that issue. We look forward to seeing you next week for another coverage.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now in the studio, Bilal is here, public affairs analyst. Briefly, give an understanding from your perspective about the protest. This is day 2. Do you feel that this has yielded results so far?
Well, actually, a whole lot of things needs to be done. The protest going on is as a result of the inactions of the government in terms of addressing, the hardships that's being faced by the people of Nigeria. So, like in this case, we have lots of representatives and governments representing the interests, but they're not really representing, the interest of the people, based on the fact that right now, looking at the parliament, they have a lot of voiceless members, representatives in the parliaments today. When you look at the cases of people like Ahmed Ningi and Ali Undume, in that case you could see, the post effects of their decisions to speak out for the people. So right now, the issues right now in the parliaments is that people are really voiceless, in the sense that they are really, really very scared to speak out for the people. And right now, since the interests of the people are not really represented in the government, the last resort is to stage the protest. And in this case, when you're looking at the situation on ground, we feel it's time for the president to, take a review of his cabinet, because the cabinet is the engine room of the government. And in that sense, they have to look at for and evaluate the performance of people, going in line in the renewed Hope agenda, the directives. And in that sense, those who aren't performing well, they need to, he has to weed them out of the various positions. So in that sense, right from coming, emerging as president, being sworn into office, the first thing that, a president needs to do is to call out for a retreat whereby he could, use that as an avenue to sensitize his cabinet members on his renewed hope agenda. That agenda, it's more of a roadmap that would, that guides the cabinet members on steps to follow in order to, pilot the affairs of the nations, and in order to drift us into that, proposed agenda by the president.
Well, that the assessment from Ali Bilal, the public affairs analyst, and of course will give us an understanding. The voices are heard by so many quarters is that there is a need for the president to address the nation and quickly also address the demands of the protesters. Economic situation, the hardship in the country is at an alarming end, and we just have to also appeal for a peaceful demonstration everywhere in the country. And Nigeria is ours. We can only stand together to build the country of a dream, and it's a collective effort of all of us to do this. Violence is not the way. Dialogue, peaceful demonstration is just the way to go about it. It's under other law, but then do not disobey. Some don't take the laws into your hands. It may be the fact that there may be consequences that follows. We condemn every violence nature right here, but we just believe that the government will address the many issues that we're having. Thanks so much, Ali, for joining us on the program.
My pleasure, Michael.
And that's where we wrap it up on Big Talk tonight. And of course, it's a pleasure to have you join us. Let's get to know your reactions, and of course, on the comment section. Also, get to stay tuned as we bring you the news at 8, which is the News Prime. Thanks so much for joining us, and good night, and God bless Nigeria.